Shalom Avraka, Parshas VAYEIRA. There's an old Chabad story that goes like this. The Rebbe Rishab, when he was 4 or 5, maybe 6 years old, when he heard the Parsha, he cried. And he asked his Zidi, the Rebbe, the Tzemach Tzedek, he says, why is it that Hashem does not reveal himself to me as he reveals himself to Avram Avinu? And the answer given to him is, when a tzaddik at 99 years old gives himself a bris milah, then he merits this revelation from Hashem. What does this mean? We know Hashem revealed himself to Avram Avinu many times before the bris milah, but after the bris milah, Hashem revealed himself in a much higher way, a much higher essence, a much higher level, because now Hashem is physically manifested into the world in such a way that a physical deed, a mitzvah, brought him into the world through Hashem's will and Hashem's desire. Avram Avinu gave himself a bris milah. This is Mesiras Nefesh. This is giving it all to Hashem. And we learned later in the Parsha, even greater Mesiras Nefesh. But there's a story about a guy that was getting married, and his mashpia told him, he said, you should bring your wife flowers every Friday afternoon before Shabbos. So he did, and she liked them. Her face lit up. And week after week, month after month, year after year, he saw that after Shabbos, the flowers would get old sitting on the table, and they would wilt and make a mess on the table and dry up. The water would become putrid after a couple days and smell a little funny. And he thought, what a waste of money. I don't even like flowers. I don't, maybe next week I'll get her something else. So the next week, he got her something else. He said, I'll get her something that I really like. So he went to the store and he bought a power drill, the biggest and best one in the store, the most expensive. And he comes through the door Friday afternoon and he says, honey, I'm home. And she expects to see flowers, but she sees the power drill. What's this? He says, in lieu of flowers, here's a power drill. She says, you gone mad? Have you lost your mind? He says, no, this is what I really like. You see, her desire was for the flowers. It doesn't matter if they're going to wilt. It doesn't matter if they're going to get thrown out. Her desire is the flowers, the gift of the flowers, the beauty of them. For whatever reason, it's not for him to understand. The same thing with us. A mitzvah is not even for us to understand, but to physically do a mitzvah is manifesting Hashem into the world through Hashem's will and desire. And we know the ultimate purpose of creation is to fuse the very highest and the very lowest. Where do we come from? Dust. Hashem took dust, dirt from the four corners of the earth. He molded it into the shape of a human being, the very lowest. Dirt from the four corners of the earth. And he blew the very highest, his panemius, his inner self, his breath into it. So you see, we're a fusion of the very highest and the very lowest, dust and Hashem. So specifically, the very lowest can hold the highest. And the heavens of the heavens cannot contain Hashem, because in the heavens, there's no physicality. It's only spirituality. So any negativity in the world can be turned over into light. So I ask you a question. Is Hashem physical or is Hashem spiritual? Do you know the answer? To say Hashem is one or the other, to say Hashem is spiritual, would be greatly limiting Hashem, because he created physicality and spirituality for specific purposes. So Hashem is both. And so are you. Physical and spiritual, a fusion of the opposites, a shalemus, a completion. And Hashem has a special mission for each and every single one of us in the world. And this is why we do a physical mitzvah, because it's a physical way of revealing Hashem into the world, level by level, through a physical thing, lighting candles, putting tefillin, giving tzedakah. We're drawing down holy light into the world. And the Rebbe says that the deed is the very main thing. The Rebbe also says that once you have a hold of something, you have the whole thing. If you're grabbing your friend's arm, you're holding on to your friend. So from this we can understand why Hashem revealed himself to Avram Avinu through bris milah. And by having a part of something, you have the whole thing. What we're saying is Hashem not only revealed himself to us and reveals himself to us in a spiritual way, but Hashem reveals himself to us in a physical way. How? Through Torah and mitzvah, Hashem's will and desire. I want to wish you all a good Shabbos. And even before we put on our Shabbos clothes, we should be dancing hand in hand together into the Beis Hamikdash HaShlishi, following our Rebbe, Yehi HaMelech.